Is your small business growing? That's the question we address right here on the Grow Your Biz Show. It's where we interview strategic entrepreneurs who inform and inspire you on your solopreneur or small company journey. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Grow Your Biz Show. Hello, and thanks for joining us here on the Grow Your Biz Show. My name is Paul Madsen, and I'm the host of the program, and I'm also the founder of GrowMedia.com. Hey guys, GrowMedia.com helps small business owners to tell their story better and get better social media engagement via the videos, the strategic videos that we create together. That's what GrowMedia.com does, and we're going to learn about what these guys do right now. Eric, good to see you. Eric Crouch of Crouch Recreation, co-owner of Crouch Recreation. He's been on the show before, and so you probably remember that. And Paul.
What's up,
Jarrett
Paul? How you doing, man?
Of Bulu in Lincoln, Nebraska. Great to see you again.
I don't know whether to look at you or the camera.
Well, you can look at the big red light, whatever you want to do.
Big red light, all right.
Or look at me. That's painful, though.
You got it.
You look over my shoulder. Hey, you know, I have enjoyed having both of you on the show before, and you got me all off track. But
I know. Well, we just keep going. That's
well, we'll get through it somehow.
That's what I'm here for.
I got trouble right here, right here in River City.
Guns.
Yeah, he comes loaded and packed. So anyway, where were we going with all that? Oh, the whole idea of that you've been on the show before. But what's going on this time is very exciting, very cool, because instead of just me getting the backstory of these two rock stars in business, I'm going to go with the questions and answers that you folks have sent in, not answers, but the questions of Eric and Paul.
We got the answers.
Yeah, we got it. You got all the answers.
Also, I'm very nervous at what the questions.
Oh, well, we got some special ones for you.
All right.
You ready to roll? So anyway, it'll be a fun Q&A session. I think we'll have a good time. Hey, before we get started with that, I would like to ask the question. Let's start with Paul. Bulu is before C, Crouch. So let's ask you. Well, tell us what your customer benefit statement is. That's a mouthful, but tell us that, Paul.
So I'll give you the really condensed version.
Okay.
But what Bulu does, we say, is we create subscription box programs for large brands. But really what that means is we remove the fear and anxiety that people working at large brands experience with innovation. So people that work at companies like Disney and Clorox and GNC, tasked to innovate, and we come in and help kind of remove that fear and anxiety for them.
Okay, keyword there I think is innovate, right? I mean, you help some of these big, staid, stuck-in-the-mud companies to innovate. What does that mean?
Exactly. Innovate?
Well, I mean for them, and how you help them to do that.
Yeah, I think for everybody it kind of means something different, but at the end of the day, once we realized probably about 2 or 3 years ago that, we're kind of, owning the risk part for them, we're removing a lot of risk, that's really what it ends up meaning. Because with innovation, there's inherent risk, and to be a company that can come in and reduce that risk for somebody working at a big company like that, you can make a lot of money doing that.
Sure, well, and in case someone doesn't really know what a subscription service is, subscription box, why don't you give us a real quick skitty on that?
Yeah, so subscription boxes are, a Dollar Shave Club, Birchbox, but for a fee a month, you get something delivered, makeup monthly, or maybe clothes every quarter. But what we do is we come in and we build those programs, and then we'll put the Disney name on it or whatever it is. We have a Enchanted Princess collection, so people that sign up every month, they get a new princess box.
Eric, you can get a princess every month.
Yeah.
Pretty excited.
What's your size?
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, you started with the whole idea of doing this for yourself, and now you're teaching others. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Started at Complete Nutrition. Started at Complete Nutrition and did vitamins and supplements. And
what was the turning point that said, hey, we should do this for other people?
Honestly, I wish I had the light bulb went off or whatever, but it was totally out of desperation. It really was. We had to pay the bills, and we're like, what should we do? And the thing that we didn't want to do or think that we would be good at ended up being the thing that we were really good at. And so once we came to grips with that, it's been, knock on wood, lights out. So.
To get the sports analogy, pivot, right?
Well, yeah, actually, I tell some people sometimes the quarterback has to realize he's actually a nose guard, which is what happened to me in high school as a quarterback, and then in college I ended up being a nose guard, and know your role in our company.
I never thought I could be a nose guard.
Yeah, I never thought.
You didn't play at Iowa State.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Eric, tell us what your customer benefit statement is.
Right. Well, Crouch Recreation is a company that works outside in outdoor spaces, providing a lot of fun recreational equipment. So we're talking about playgrounds and splash pads and bleachers and things of that nature. But we're building communities as well. So when we get outside and build one of our projects and we get out there and all the equipment's there, we've got people from all over using it. So really building communities and tying
Awesome.
friendships and
Awesome.
family together.
Well, I'm hearing community, I'm hearing wellness activity. I mean, the kids put down their phone for at least a minute.
They have to, yeah.
Got to both hands on the pipes or the toys and the playgrounds, and American made and quality and all local and all that good stuff. Is that all in there?
Yeah, oh yeah. You know what? Our equipment is made all over the place here in the United States, North America. We do, build these products, so we design them as well. So, we have a lot of input from the customers, so that they can get what they want. Also, sometimes, they say, hey, we don't know what we want.
Exactly.
You
I'm sure
tell us, because you're the professional.
You come in as a consultant.
A lot of times
yeah.
we come in as a consultant, hey, we've done this, we show them that. We can do that. Every site is unique. I mean, every site has got something different. We try to tie in their interests because, for instance, we're getting involved in a lot of inclusive playgrounds where, that everybody can use it.
Interesting.
Parents, kids, anybody with disabilities able to use those sites. Yep.
Yeah, all sorts of access and new territory, so to speak, for you as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's
really
it should be the standard if you think about it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, what we don't think about sometimes is someone goes in, puts in a facility for a school or a park or a city or whatever, and you think that you're done, but they need updating too, don't they?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a big part of what we do too,
I'm
renovating old sites and bringing them back to code.
Well, great. And how many states are you kind of covering?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we cover 3 states, South Dakota, Nebraska, and not all of Iowa, but part of Iowa.
Great, great. And Paul, you have a full-time equivalency of employee-wise of about what?
250?
250 almost, yeah. In the warehouse, and you get the offices.
Yeah.
When I went down to shoot the other episode at Paul's office, we were greeted by a friendly dog. I loved it. You don't see that too often.
Yeah. We have somebody with a lizard as well.
Oh, a lizard. Okay. Well, You're kind of a .com company.
Not in the warehouse.
Not in the warehouse.
Yeah, but in our office.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well,
so cool.
Yeah. Speaking of lizards, let's jump into the questions. How's that for a transition?
Yeah, perfect. Nailed it.
Nailed it, baby. Well, Cyrus Jaffray, who is the founder of the Cyrus Jaffray Insurance Agency, which is located at 90th and Maple. And I'll just ask the question to both of you. Asks, what advice do you have for a small business owner in his or her first year? You're sitting close to me, Eric.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Well, I think the first year for me was just understanding our products and our customers. One of the important things is to know what your customers' needs are. That way you're able to, be a better service, because most businesses are service related. I mean, everybody's got a product, everybody's, got a certain price point that they're willing to hit, and But really, I think people want to know, are you going to be able to give them the service that they want, not just only before the sale, but after the sale is done as well. So I encourage all those new business owners to, really focus on not so much volume right away in their first year. That's going to come, but I think it's more of get a consistent way of treating your customers so that they're willing to come back.
Yeah.
We want these guys back.
That's important. Paul, would you agree with that?
No. worse advice.
That's why your company's just going down the tubes, right? Yeah.
No, absolutely, 100%. It's funny that when you asked the question, I immediately kind of went to almost like the trauma of the first year. You've been at it for 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in year 8. So I'm halfway of what you got, and so it still feels fresh. But I would say somebody gave me this poem, another entrepreneur, and it was called "Welcome to the Exclusive Club of Terror," and it was basically about saying get used to it. You're all alone. You're on an island. It's terrible. It's awful. Be comfortable with fear. And I think for me, as I look back, I wish I could go talk to myself and say hey, you're probably mostly afraid of the fear of embarrassment, and focus and understand that, and don't worry what your friends, family, other people think. Do what Eric was talking about, put together a plan, do the blocking and tackling, do the basics, right? Mm-hmm. And it took me probably 3 years to realize that was holding me back a lot.
3 years, yeah.
Yeah, and I still catch myself a lot. Like,
Well,
I mean, we did well. We did incredibly well, but like, when you're all online e-commerce, like you can just crank up some of the Google AdWords, double, triple, and there's nothing holding you back from that. It's easy to do, and so that's the first thing that I thought of.
Interesting. You made me think of a prominent speaker named Gary Vaynerchuk. He's got some books out there, talks in social media
That guy yells on my Facebook all the
yeah,
time.
and he usually swears
Get him
a
out of
lot.
the
Yeah,
way.
exactly. The one
I'm
you
a
probably get rid of.
Vaynerchuk advisor, actually.
Yeah, well, he says once you get rid of the fear about what people think about you, you're liberated.
Yeah,
and that's what you're saying.
yeah,
And that's what you're saying, both of you.
Yep.
And so
I have another way that I say it, but I can't.
You can't say it on
I ran out
family
of
television.
things to give. There you go.
I have an idea.
There you go.
Well, great. Thank you for that. Oh, Beth Settles, a senior interior designer extraordinaire, I might add, at Interiors Joan and Associates. They're over on 132nd Street. We did a show over there with their beautiful studio. She asks, what are the most important traits you seek when hiring new employees for a business? Paul, we'll start with you this time.
Yeah, so whenever I think I have that nailed down, it always kind of switches on me. So we have kind of a rule in our, I guess an exercise that I go through is, I really work on understanding like who I am and what I'm good at, and more importantly, what I'm bad at. And I think that before you even start to think about who you hire, the traits, you really need to understand like who you are, like on a deep level. Like self-awareness is like so important. And then I would say, if I could go back again and tell myself, I'd say the people in the beginning, actually before you even start, and then when you start, and then when you scale, they're going to be all different sorts of folks.
Yeah.
And don't get too. What's the saying? Hire slow, fire fast.
Oh yeah.
We've gone with the hire fast, fire fast. It seems to work for us.
You have to fire more often if you hire fast.
Yeah, and it just seems like no matter what, it's always a crapshoot. I mean, we've paid professionals. We have all sorts of tests, everything that we do, and you just don't know until about 3 months in. But I would say, just in the interview process, being brutally honest with yourself and with other people. If you find yourself, if I find myself or people in our company do of saying like, well, they'll get there, or if they just do this, like that, they're not there. Like you got to put them in the game, and they elevate everybody.
You don't marry someone hoping what they're going to become.
Yeah, my wife learned that the hard way. Yeah.
Eric, have you had situations like that?
Oh yeah, we've you have to hire people in every company pretty much, and I think it's a trick. I mean, it's there's nothing set in stone that's going to give you that perfect employee, but they've just got some standard qualities that we look for. Are they hardworking? Are they able to adapt and do the things that you're asking them to do for your company? And with our company and customer service and sales and design, those are kind of the things that we're looking for. Can they go out and build relationships with people? Yeah. Every business has a little bit different person that they're trying to hire, but for us, are they willing to learn the business? Are they willing to come to work? Are they going to strap it on every day and work hard for you? Or are they going to just try to get by? Right. And I'm really wanting people that are going to come to work every single day, that they're willing to learn, because this business is it's different. It's in a lot of ways. So you just got to be patient, but you got to work hard and come to work and and
show up.
Yeah, you just got to show up. Work hard. I mean, sometimes it's easier said than done, but with that one thing in mind, if you're just going to show up with a great attitude and like, hey, today I'm learning something.
Good point.
So
like.
true.
If it's just one thing, hey, look, I'm going to go to work every day. I'm going to learn one thing. Then, hopefully, then down the road, a couple of years, they've learned, quite a bit.
There you go. Well, that sounds.
That does remind me of something that I've like reluctantly come to realize, and I've pushed away. But the reality is that people that are really positive and just have a positive attitude, like that is so huge and so valuable.
Well,
and I often tell people, I'm like, man, running the company and the hard times, like it's like that thing where I'm like, I beat myself up enough, and a lot of people do. And so if you start to get those people that are just like always positive, right?
Yeah.
And
well,
it's
hard enough without having a bunch of sad Sallies around.
Yeah,
but it helps you out too, as a
that's
business
what I'm
owner,
saying.
because you're like, man, we need more of that.
Yep.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. And you point that out, and you say that's the quality. But there's other employees that need to hear that and see that.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, you guys come from sports team. It's about the team, right?
Yeah, and it's funny thing is, I used to hate those people on our team. They're like, "Come on,
now you're the cheerleader.
Yeah, now I'm like, oh, I value those people. So
Great. Hey, Carol Sprunk of Edge Magazine and Dine Magazine.
What up, Carol?
Oh, you know Carol? And founder of Clout Coffee.
Yeah, delicious coffee.
She asked, especially for you, since she knows you, she says, what keeps you up at night?
Oh, you did.
Go ahead, Paul.
Crying 10-month-old. What keeps
Coffee,
Crying
caffeine.
20-year-olds and 15-year-olds.
too much caffeine, too much pre-workout. It changes all the time, but I would say currently, I say it like this: what happens when the biggest thing that you've ever done in your life all of a sudden doesn't seem like that big of a deal?
Wow.
Right?
Interesting.
So when we started the company, I couldn't even grasp what we were about to do, and it was terrifying and it was big. And now, again, knock on wood, I feel like I have a pretty good grip on what we're doing and where the company can go and how much we can make. And I'm like, yeah.
What's next, baby?
It's not, I got to go big. So but we want to do things right, and there's a lot of, we have investors, we have responsibility to everybody. So I would say just having that thought creep in for probably the past 2 years, it's the one that won't go away, right?
Yeah.
So that's what
Okay,
keeps me
that
up.
keeps you up at night sometimes. How about you, Eric?
I sleep pretty good.
I do too.
Yeah, I sleep pretty good.
Not many hours, but pretty good during the ones I have.
We hit it pretty hard, but it's there's a lot of things that you can worry about in a business, and a lot of those things seem to be financial. And worrying about, hey, are we going to be able to continue the year that we had before, or you're looking to grow your business. Where's the best ways to grow it? There's just always something that you're thinking about as a business owner that kind of keeps the wheels turning.
Sure.
And I say, hey, I do sleep good at night. I really do. But I'm always thinking.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always something
That's the thing,
in
is
your business.
you can be excited and stay up.
Right. You just get a wild.
Not
also
fears,
you're
but more as ideas, right?
Yeah. So I do a lot of. I write everything down.
Yeah,
so
me too.
I just can't because I know I'm going to get this great idea, and I'm going to think about it if I don't write it down, and I'm never going to come back to it. So I write a lot of these things down, and I come back to them.
Next to the shower.
Yeah, it's just
pray that it goes away.
So you come back and read it. But I feel pretty good about that. But just keep rolling.
Well, great. Good answer. Thanks. Shelby Helt, success.
Shelby?
Do you know Shelby? A success coach and independent sales director at Mary Kay Cosmetics asks, what are you actively working to achieve this year? And when you achieve that goal, what will achieving it give you access to? It's kind of a multi-layered question. What are you working on? And when you succeed with that, how will you know? And what doors will it open for you? Eric, you want to start?
Well, I think.
Or you want Paul to start?
I think really, we've got one really itching to come out. But no, to be honest, we're currently just working on being, better at what we do. We're not in a big position to explode and double and triple and quadruple. We have a territory.
Sure.
We work in South Dakota, Nebraska. So those are our customers, and we know who they are and where they're located.
Perfect.
So for us, how do we make more positive contact with them? How do we have a project and make sure that every customer that we have a project with ends up being a referral for us or a reference? And so we want everything to go smoothly.
Sure.
So, just incorporating some type of a feedback system or a survey of how we can, get feedback from them, knowing that we're doing a great job, I think is
Sounds
something
like you're
that
doing a
we're
lot
kinda
of data and tracking data.
not a ton of it, but just, that information is so valuable.
Yeah, sure.
And
you kind of know where your customers are and who they are, right?
But sometimes you don't always know exactly. And sometimes that
prospects,
survey can help out a lot, or just asking after projects and taking some good notes and then incorporating them. I mean, it's so easy to have all these ideas and write them all down, but to never actually,
action,
put something to action. So I'm interested in I just want to be better for our customers. So that's kind of the direction I'm headed. It's not huge growth or anything.
Perfect. Well, steady and
that will turn into organic growth just by doing that. You'll get more referrals and calls.
Exactly. Paul, how about you?
Yeah. So I'd say we're about in a similar situation where we've had the double, triple years, and it's it's been chaotic for a while, and we've set the foundation, and working with Disney and Hasbro and all these large companies, they have 200 brands underneath them. Right. I think between all of those, I think we have about 750 independent brands that those companies own.
Holy cow.
And so we're just really focused on, staying in our lane, getting process down. That's been a big thing, like really simplifying, documenting process, saying no a lot, and it's working. And, but it feels weird because it feels like you're pulling back the reins, right? But you're really not. You're just kind of like harvesting what you've planted.
What's cool is you guys both had the same answer.
Yeah.
I think it talked about roots and process, and so there's a summary: roots and process.
Well, consistency is so important too. Like I think if you do something like this and you're just inconsistent with a lot of different ways of talking to your customers,
it's like
or your
my biggest
employees,
fear as an entrepreneur.
Man, it can drive things wild.
Yeah, it's like literally my biggest fear as an entrepreneur is like being known as the flighty entrepreneur.
Oh,
like I don't want to be that person. I do like the plan and the repetitive nature of it.
Gotcha. This one might be more for Paul, but Kevin Branham of EAS Enchanted Agro Management. Try that again. EAS Enchanted Agro Management Solutions in Albuquerque, New Mexico, asks Paul, how does a small business with a subscription box idea gain access to large retail companies to pitch its subscription box? He wants to know all your secrets.
Pick up the phone.
That's lovely. I get it.
Everybody's like, how'd you work with Disney? Picked up the phone.
I get it.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's
now you get voicemails the first, 20 times, but after that?
Oh, yeah. And pulling out every trick. To me, it's funny because I think it came from, I had to do classified ads. I sold classified ads when I was younger. Okay. And so, really it just boils down to like the numbers. So we know for every, 1,248 emails in one business quarter, that's going to trickle down into X amount of phone calls, X amount of this, and that's all it really is. And
it's a formula.
But you got to pick up the phone, and I tell people, just know you're gonna suck at it your first 40 calls.
Yeah.
You'll just suck
only
at
40?
it.
You're better than I am. Yeah.
Well, and then you're like, oh, I think I know what they want. And you pick up things, and one of my favorites was, saying like, and this was, we were just trying to figure out how to get through. This was really early in the year. We'd call and say, hey, can I speak with Judy in HR? And they're like, there's no Judy here. And well, we have a package for Judy. Is she there? And they're like, oh, you mean Sally? And we're like, right. We'd hang up. And then we call back again and say, can I speak with Sally in HR? Sure. Get to HR, you're like, hey, we need to speak with the head of marketing.
You sound a lot like that last guy.
Yeah, and then it all kind of works out.
That's just called savvy and street smarts and making it happen.
Gotta hustle.
Phone. Yeah. Well, that's terrific. Eric, I mean, you find that when you are trying to develop new prospects, what happens in those situations for you?
Well, I mean, there's always customers that you can't get to, but there's something, there's some beauty behind the fact of getting that customer that you haven't been able to get for a while, or you've been trying to, or you won a competitive project, and you must have done something right.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just a matter of not giving up. Like you said, just. Pick up the phone. Well, you just try. Just keep trying, or don't take no for an answer. But and sometimes you say, well, that's but maybe there's a different avenue. Maybe there's a different way. I mean, there's always creative thinking, and so I think just business owners, you have to be. I mean, if you're going to stay alive in the game, you've got to be creative, and that's not even talking about how you grow your business, but just staying there. Still have to be creative on how you get that done.
Again, with a pivot, innovation, all those kind of things. Hey, this has been a lot of fun. Would you guys stay around for another segment? And we got a lot more questions. Would you stay around for another run?
Only if I could ask one question next time.
Okay, you could do that. To wrap this segment up, then Joe Silva, founder and owner of Ideal Payroll Services, has a question for Eric. We asked one for you. So tell us about the transition from football to business. How did that work? How hard was that? How easy was that? What's involved with that? And we only have 2 minutes.
Sure. It's actually pretty easy. I didn't really think I was in a transition. I just basically took the reins and ran with it. And I never looked back. You know, I didn't say, okay, well, you know, I'm in a transition. How's this going to work? I took the, you know, the qualities that you have at that time. I mean, I was 24 when I bought this business. I was a young kid, you know, and you know, you keep running with it, and you learn, and you just dive into it, and you put all your time and your heart and your soul into it, and you know, you have some success. And to be honest, that's where, you know, it wasn't a matter of transition, but I used a lot of those qualities, you know, as far as, you know, in my business day now, it's like, okay, positivity is huge, you know, being able to have the real conversations, not, you know, like just beating around the bush about topics. Like, there's not time in the day, I mean, to be wasting. It's like, you can joke around a little bit, you know what that's about, but like, when you're really talking about business, like, it's like, it's an employee, I'm not talking about the sale part, I'm talking about like, making your business better and making your employee better so that everybody in your customer at the end of the day is rewarded for that.
Perfect, perfect. Paul, 30 seconds on transitions. We talked about Eric's transition. Is he right in how to handle those with a learning attitude?
Yeah, I absolutely think, you know, it's just like anything. You got to like put your goal down, put a plan together. Know it's probably not going to work out exactly how you want, but you got to just keep running, just be relentless at it, and you'll end up somewhere near it.
Yep,
Well,
exactly.
that's great. Well, we're out of time for this segment. I got him to hold over and do another segment. Segment 2, all right.
Let's go.
Overtime, all right, yeah.
Baby.
So that wraps up episode 106 for the Grow Your Biz show. Check out growmedia.com to learn about how we can help you tell your unique business story with social media video. Talk to you next week. Eric, thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul.
Paul, thank you so much.
I enjoyed it.
We'll see you next segment. Take care. Talk to you next week.
Cheers.